One thing about me is I love appetizers. Anywhere I go, I just about get an appetizer. So today, I'm gonna show you how to make cheesy biscuit bites. So come on into my kitchen and let's get these appetizers going. So what I have here is 2 cups of self-rising flour. I have 4 tablespoons of mayo, 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil, but you can use canola oil or whatever you like there. I actually have a cup of sausage crumbles, a cup of bacon crumbles, 2 cups of sharp cheddar, and you can get a whole package and just put the whole package in there of the 2-cup kind, and this is fancy. And I also have buttermilk, which I have a cup, which I'm going to mix my dough up with. So we're going to get started with this, and so I'm going to help you through this because dough is sometimes a little tricky. So hold on. Okay, I'm going to be a little closer this time so you can see what I'm doing, so you can understand the mixture a little more. Okay, so here we go. I've got my self-rising flour, and I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to add my mayo. Let me grab my spoon real fast. So I'm adding my mayo. I'm going to add my oil. We're going to go ahead and kind of mix the oil and everything together here. You see this? I know y'all can't see my face, but I'm trying to show you how to do the dough. So we're going to mix that all together. Kind of get it kind of blended pretty well in there. And this is what we're going to do with our buttermilk. We're going to slowly add our buttermilk because I've found sometimes you can use the whole thing and add more, and then sometimes it takes forever, like you have to add just a lot, and sometimes you have to add just a little bit. So I've always been very careful about my dough consistency and just mixing it slowly as I add my buttermilk. So we can see it's kind of coming together here. I'm going to keep mixing it. Kind of want a little bit of a wet texture, but not too wet. Okay. And see, I'm going to add just a little bit more. So I didn't use quite all of my buttermilk, like probably only a half cup. But sometimes I tell you, it uses the whole thing. Don't ask me why. But anyway, all right, so we got all this kind of mixed together. See, here's a little wet, and that's what we want right now. We want it a little wet. The next thing I'm going to add is all this cheese, and I'm just going to dump it at once, and then the two cups of cheese. I'm going to add this and get it all mixed in here very well. And believe me, the dough will hold it. Because you want them to be cheesy. Eventually we'll probably have to get in there with our hands a little bit, but I try to do as much as I can without getting my hands all sticky. As you can see, I put on an apron because anytime I work with dough, I usually throw it all over myself. I don't know about you guys, but I end up with flour everywhere. On me, all over the kitchen counter, everywhere. All right, so here's our dough kind of coming together there with the cheese. You got to put a little elbow grease into it. All right, now that's getting pretty good. I may have to add a little bit more of buttermilk, but I'm going to go ahead and add my sausage crumbles and get those in there. And still get that mixed in. And I'm going to add just a smidgen more buttermilk, not much, just to get it a little bit more wet. It's still getting a little dry on me with all the cheese. All right, now we're going to add this big thing of bacon crumbles right here. All right, so that's our final addition, hopefully. We may have to add more buttermilk, but not quite sure. See, it's coming together, very doughy and cheesy. All right. To get the kind of final consistency I want, I'm going to have to go in a little bit with my hands. My hands are clean. I washed them before I started. But I'm going to mix all this together in this pot here. So we've got it all mixed together now. I'm going to make sure it is the bacon and the sausage and the cheese are all mixed with the dough. You don't have spots where it's kind of left out. So you do want to actually get in there, put your hands into it, and work it out. Now, okay. Now stay with me here. We got that part done. So we didn't use all our buttermilk, as you see. So I'm going to move all this over. And I'm going to straighten this up for you to see me a little bit here. Sorry about the thumb. And what I'm getting here is I'm going to get my cookie sheet. And on my cookie sheet, I've actually put some flour on here and spread it all over so it won't stick. And what you're going to do next, and I'm going to do these, and you'll have to just watch me because it takes a long time to do these. So I'm going to do a couple, and then I'll do real fast on the other with time lapse. So I get a teaspoon. All you want is about a teaspoon of this dough mixture, and it's small. A teaspoon. And then you're going to put it there. We're going to do one more teaspoon right here. And you see how it's looking here? I'll show you when I get them all laid out what it's like. But let me go kind of into time-lapse modes so we can do this. So as you can see, this makes a big batch. So while I'm usually rolling these out, I have my oven set at 400, and I'm letting it preheat to there. And so now I'm going to stick in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. It does vary some. So make sure you start checking them at 15 minutes and see if they're getting brown. But what you're looking for is making sure your dough is getting a little brown and looks like a normal biscuit brown. And then you'll take them out. But let's get started baking them, and I'll show you the final product, and I'll come back and tell you a story. So here's my story today. When I was growing up, my mom used to make biscuits like almost every morning. So she would make biscuits for us almost every morning. And of course, she made little smiley face biscuits for me. Haha. Teresa and Danny didn't get those. But anyway, on occasion, she would be busy and would not make me breakfast. My sister is a little bit older than me, so she used to babysit me. My sister's almost like my second mom because she's, well, let's just say she's quite a bit older. And anyway, she would babysit me, and she used to have to make me my favorite thing in the world to eat was an egg in the ring, or you may call it a bird in nest or something like that, you know, with a toast on the stovetop, and then you have the egg in the middle and you cook it. That was my favorite, and I loved it. And I would always ask for it, and my sister hated making them for me, like hated making them. So if you see my sister out in public and if you actually know her, tell her she needs to make her little baby brother an egg in the ring, that he really loves the way she makes them because they're delicious. She makes the best. Love you, sis. Okay, guys, I played them up. Look how beautiful they are. Very golden brown. Looks so good. So good. I'll tell you what's really good too. If you'll go and make the pancetta pimento and cheese that's on my YouTube channel, it goes really good with these little cheesy biscuit bites. So please try to make these. They're really wonderful, and they're great whenever you're going to have get-togethers. I know we're still in our pandemic, but when we do, it's a great little thing. But it's also fun just to have around the house to snack on. And also, if you see my sister about, tell her baby brother again would really, really love an egg in the ring. Y'all have a great day. Good to see you.